Hey INFPs! INFP is my favorite personality type. I love you guys. And I am an INFP. Say what? Did I just say my favorite type is my very own type? Isn't that kind of blasphemous? I think everyone should love their own type the most. Out of all types, INFPs are the ones who are going to be the most critical of their own type. Whenever I meet people of different personality types, INFPs are the first to focus on the weaknesses of their own type. They want to know what is wrong with themselves. However, whatever I just said should not make you self-critical. Instead, we should rejoice. And this is because out of all the types, INFPs are the ones who most want to dig deep and find the weak areas of their own self, and this potentially becomes a means for personal growth. Thus, it is natural when INFPs discover their own type, even when they generally like or love their type, to be the first to find out the weaknesses, all the blind spots of their own type. And they work very hard on this. They may even perseverate or constantly think and obsessively think about their Achilles heel. It is a very INFP question on forums to ask all the other personality types. What bothers you about my type? What are our negative traits as INFPs? No other type matches the INFP in the penchant of asking these sorts of questions. Doing this, as in the case of most things, is not bad in itself. In fact, it leads to some good. However, this practice in excess tends to be unhealthy. It is both a sign of something that potentially can become good or potentially can become bad. For the individual INFP, it can be a sign for desiring improvement or an omen for dwelling in negativity and in a world of constant self-criticism. It is wise to discern what is both healthy and unhealthy in you, your strengths and your weaknesses. However, there's no reason to turn this discernment, this evaluation of yourself, into a harsh criticalness or let it become punitive in nature. You can evaluate yourself without infusing that evaluation with harshness or punitiveness. Acknowledge a trait you have, both good or bad. Acknowledge your feelings, good or bad, as well. Your trait or feeling can be so-called negative, but see these aspects of yourself from a place of unconditional self-acceptance or love. When you see a negative trait or bad feeling in yourself, trying to motivate yourself to become better through a harshly critical or punitive stance does not work. This will tire yourself in the process towards self-enlightenment. Instead, when we are evaluating ourselves, always do it in a space of unconditional love, of unconditional self-acceptance. You start with unconditional self-acceptance, and over time you'll learn about unconditional love. However, unconditional acceptance is a good starting place. Trust me, if you look at yourself, including your weaknesses, from a space of self-acceptance, you will actually become driven towards personal growth in a very healthy manner. It becomes easier to strive forward from that space because it is positive. It heals rather than further wounds. Harsh and punitive methods actually take us into a more negative space. And over time, it ultimately does not lead to personal growth. When you are self-critical, people can sense that energy and it will drain them too, even though you are just negative to yourself and not to them. Being harsh towards oneself actually damages others. I notice some INFPs are so critical when they discover their type, they even denounce their type. But by denouncing their type, they're denouncing others because there are other INFPs. You disempower other INFPs when you do not value your own type. This fosters the illusion that INFPs are broken people or weak people. This is not true at all. INFPs have no more weaknesses or problems than other types. They're just more aware of what their weaknesses and problems are, even a bit hypersensitive about them. We INFPs should focus on bringing our unique gifts to the world rather than on negative self-criticism. It is a good practice to evaluate, to self-evaluate, but do not dwell in it. Do other things. Turn the process off for a period of time and try to focus on doing things. And if you choose to do these things, do not spend any time judging yourself on your performance. If you are very self-critical, it is good to tell yourself to spend even a long period shutting off the process of self-evaluation. It will come back, it may come back, but the goal should be to not let this process overtake you. When we self-evaluate, but do not let it take over our lives, and when we do it out of a space of self-acceptance, even better, a space of love, rather than harshness or criticalness or punitiveness, INFPs can actually have an edge when it comes to personal growth because they have a profound self-awareness. So I will leave you with an image. I respect ESTJs very much. I know of many healthy examples that make great contributions to the world. I just want you to think of an unhealthy INFP as a flipped version of an unhealthy ESTJ. Observe how unnecessarily harsh and critical an unhealthy ESTJ is towards their outer world. The INFP is doing the exact same thing to their inner world. A healthy INFP will be the flipped version of a healthy ESTJ who learns to relax. So, thanks for watching. I accidentally teared this.